Now, Tyler Wallace, super chat. Joel, I don't know why you got clowned on Twitter because of the Ant and J-Mac take. They probably won't have the same success, but they could be just as good in my opinion. J-Mac is more unlikely, but it's not a horrible take at all.
It's just disrespectful.
He donated $50 to defend me.
No, and I respect
Tyler
that.
Wallace is a legend.
He is a legend. He is.
Wait, you got clowned for? I thought you had some people that agree with you.
It had a lot of likes. It had a lot of quote tweets too.
Yeah, it was mostly.
Everything's been a balance for me lately, bro.
The only
Jokic take was a balance. Everything's been a balance, bro.
Take it. If a tweet gets a lot of love, it does not matter.
Yeah, as long as it gets love, fuck it, right?
It's not a bad take though.
The only thing that I did not like about it at all.
Let's talk
is
about
that,
it.
Hey, you want to compare the start to the career of Ant-Man and Tatum? Fine, because Ant-Man has been special. But what you're doing is disrespecting the development of Jaylen Brown, because we have not seen a development like this in a player in quite some time.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% positive about that.
It's mostly the success I have an issue with.
No,
obviously the situation that the Jays were in is obviously better. Like they had vets year in and year out, whether it was Kyrie, IT, whoever. It's just the success they've had, multiple conference finals. They just went to their first finals at 24, 25 years old. So individual players like Ant is obviously a freak. And he, especially this year defensively, he's turned up on a different level, and offensively, we know his game. So I could see that. Jaden McDaniels, that's the more stretch out of the two, because Jalen Brown has turned into a 27-point per game scorer. Like he's turned into, I know the defense. Isn't here this year, but we know he could be one of the better two-way players in the league.
I'm about to defend this case, and I just want to say this first of all. Jaylen Brown was a 3rd overall pick.
For sure.
So what he is now is kind of like...
what was expected almost.
I mean, she's expected to be an all-star player. He's a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. We've seen players develop like that before. Brandon Ingram's not far off. Brandon Ingram is a guy who won MIP after not being great with the Lakers and then with the Pelicans. I think Jaylen Brown's better than Brandon Ingram, but... he's somebody that definitely deserves some respect in this category.
Not everyone.
I don't think it's rare what we've seen from Jaylen Brown. I think that we can acknowledge that he has developed, but I wouldn't classify it as rare. Now, the reason why I said Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels have a similar ceiling to Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown is because year 3 Ant-Man versus year 3 Jayson Tatum, their stats are similar across the board. Year 3 Jaden McDaniels and year 3 Jaylen Brown, their stats are similar across the board. I understand with the Celtics, you have to use some context because they were playing behind some vets, Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward. I understand that 100% completely. But with the Wolves, I feel like Jaden McDaniels, this is his first opportunity. Last year he came off the bench. This year is his first year as a starter. And Jaden McDaniels, in his first year as a starter, has shown offensive improvement month by month since the start of the season. He's already an all-world defender. And his offensive bag is not limited. I feel like when you watch Jaden McDaniels play, he can string together some dribble combinations that you're like,
it's not
wow.
Jaylen Brown's, though.
There is something here.
Jaylen Brown's bag is kind of nuts. And I'm not a Jaylen Brown fan, but his bag is indeed nuts.
He's been better than Tatum second half of the season, pretty easily, too.
Yeah, I know. I hear that too, of course.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from.
But year 4 is when Jaylen Brown took that leap into becoming a 20-point per game scorer. So if you want to, match it, next year is going to have to be the year McDaniels takes that leap. And I don't know if he's going to be able to. And it's not all his fault because he's going to have Ant-Man over him. He's going to have Cat over him. So it's going to be harder, I think, for him when Jaylen Brown is just going to be the second option.
I just think, Ant-Man is going to be just as good as Jayson Tatum, if not better.
That one, all right. That one was fair. I don't know about better, but because Tatum's ceiling is top 5, so how much better can you really be than that? They probably have the same ceiling. So I think that one was more fair. The Jaden McDaniel one, I think, is interesting.
And Ant-Man's locked in on defense a lot quicker and sooner than Tatum has.
Yeah, it's different. I don't know. I think I wouldn't even say that either. I think Tatum was locked in when he first came into the league. He just wasn't as good as Ant-Man was.
He wasn't as big too. He just got
but he's been locked in. With Jaylen Brown and McDaniels, I guess that's more of the interesting conversation because I think Edwards and Tatum, you can easily say they probably have around the same ceiling. But with those two, Jaylen Brown and McDaniels, McDaniels, can he reach that ceiling? Can Jaylen Brown reach a ceiling higher? it's still questions for both guys because Jaylen Brown has a lot to work on. Jaden McDaniels also has a lot to work on. So it's like that
Does
one's
Jaylen
more
Brown
of a
have a lot to work
that
on?
playmaking stinks. Inconsistency on defense, his off-ball defense needs
The
work
defense,
on.
enough of that. I'm tired of hearing it.
I
I
think
don't care how
he's
bad
going to
it's
lock
been.
in playoffs.
That's
He's
all
shown
that
because he's shown
matters.
flashes
It
this year
doesn't.
defensively.
That excuse makes sense for a 30-year-old that's a defender, but he knows the playoffs is the only thing that matters. Jaylen Brown's young. He's a young player. A young player not locking in the season is a weird thing. It really doesn't happen.
People like to exaggerate the fact that he's not this prolific scorer, so now he's deciding to be a prolific scorer.
Oh
and
yeah, but
it's taking a toll on his defense.
Yeah, he hasn't been consistent
Come
on
the
defense
off,
this year.
come
And he's not
postseason
good
time.
off. He's never been good off ball. Defensively, he's never been good off ball. He has some things he has to.
All
work
I'm
on.
saying is that year 3 Jaylen Brown, we're not thinking of
Not
him
in the hood
doing
and
this
holler.
like that.
No. But
You
that's
know?
why the year 4 is when he had the explosion.
Yeah, year 4 McDaniels could be something
No,
similar.
let's
He's got
see
to
it.
average
Let's see
20.
it. He's got to turn into Jaylen Brown.
I think, and it's possible. It's,
I'm sorry.
It's
You
possible.
think Jaden McDaniels could be a
sorry.
top 20 player in the NBA?
He could be a top 25 player. I think.
I think Jaylen Brown's a top 20 player
this
in the
wing
NBA.
duo has a high ceiling, and people were
Will they
like,
have the success the Celtics have?
"All right, now the
Answer honestly.
success, I guess not, but I don't measure a players by that type of thing. You know, is that you?
No, it's 100% my watch. I was clearing it from water. Sorry, y'all.
Oh my goodness!
Sorry,
It's
my
just a mess.
Baseball, you're just
Bro,
embarrassing us.
my wheel.
Just
It
stop.
was hard to turn.
I don't measure players by that, like a success like that. I don't personally,
Why?
because I don't think that it matters much in this type of conversation.
I feel like winning is pretty important when you're talking about a duo in the NBA.
What was your tweet word for word exactly then?
They have a similar ceiling as Jayson Tatum.
If you
and
want
Jaylen
to just
Brown.
talk about just like NBA
for
players, but I feel like a lot of why people have been hyping up Tatum and Brown is because they succeeded so early on.
Yeah, but also you can also in the first playoff run when Tatum was a rookie, he was the best player for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
Jaylen Brown was not the second best player consistently.
For sure.
It was a combination of guys like Rozier
was definitely the second
and
best.
Brown. You know, they had their games. And then in the bubble, Kemba Walker was the second guy, not Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, but it's Kemba. He was always inconsistent.
But he was the
Defensively,
second guy. He was
Basically,
averaging
it's always
20.
somebody. It was always somebody.
So
in
I'm saying
front.
that there was only 1 year where definitively Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown were the duo, and they made the finals. Credit to them definitively. But the years before, they were on the same team, but they were not a duo.
Yeah,
They were not
I
that.
can agree with that.
Like, for example, 4 years ago, if you would have said Tatum and Brown have a similar ceiling to Kawhi and PG in 2019, that's a hot take too.
Probably
And now we're looking at it like
because of
we're
the
saying-
second guy.
Yeah, now we're looking at it. We're saying, oh, Tatum and JB, they're actually on that type of level. I just think Ant-Man legitimately has potential to be a top 5 player in the NBA, even higher, to be honest. I think his ceiling is off the charts. And I think McDaniels, the offensive improvement I've seen from him, I think he can reach that type of level.
I don't think it was clear that Kemba was. There was really. Tatum was number 1 in that bubble, and then Brown and Kemba were 2A, 2B type of situation.
Now, Blake Bass donated $20. Shout out to Blake Bass. Just got out of the gym and had to catch the podcast live. Shout out to you, Blake.
Shout out Blake, absolutely. I had to look up the stats real quick because you said 2019. If you would have said that about the Celtics duo being on PG and Kawhi, people would have looked at you like you had 6 heads. But I'll say this: Jaylen Brown averaged 22 points in the playoffs.
That was his. Yeah, facts. Kemba averaged like 19.5, 20, something like that.
Jaylen Brown was definitely
He was
better
He
this
was more
past
efficient
season,
too.
but-
That's that playoff run.
Oh, he's trending in the right direction for sure. But I still think it would have been a hot take. I don't think it's hot as a take as Ant-Man and McDaniels, but
No,
really,
it would have been a hot take because people held Kawhi to Jesus Christ standard. Because even when we had the conversation of Tatum
Last
and
year.
Kawhi, people had a stroke about it. So
Mhm.
I think it would have been a little more drastic. But at least here in this conversation, the Tatum and Ant-Man isn't the strong statement because we understand the potential of Ant-Man. The strong statement, to me at least, is Jaylen Brown and Jaden McDaniels. That's where I
McDaniels
have
has
the
to take a
issue,
huge
majority.
but McDaniels can take that huge leap, I believe. He's 22 years old.
He's shown great
He has-
upside already.
he
I'm
has-
not gonna.
he-
The
he's
defensive
shown-
aspects are most
Yeah.
definitely
He should be first team all defense this year.
there. Okay.
I think he should be first team all defense.
There's a lot of great defensive players, but
There's a
I mean,
ton.
he's been one of them, no
He's a
doubt.
forward, right? That's gonna
Yeah.
be tough.
It is.
I think he should be first team all defense, and offensively, I know it's not much, but in the
Is
month of
Tatum
March,
squeaking
he's
in
averaging
a
13.
defensive team.
He better God not.
He shouldn't.
Better not. No,
Why?
no
Tatum's
disrespect to
great.
Tatum.
What are you
There's a lot of
saying?
Evan Mobley's a forward.
Okay.
Jared Jackson Jr. is a
Giannis
forward.
is getting it.
Giannis is a
Yes,
forward.
okay.
McDaniels is a forward. Like there's not even no disrespect
They've
to Tatum.
listed Bam as a forward before.
See, like no disrespect to Tatum. It's just a
There's
lot of guys.
There's a lot.
That's just gonna be
Is
a
Dylan
So you
Brooks on
guys-
this weekend? No way.
So what you're telling me is that you guys are all okay with the Ant-Man and Tatum comp.
I'm not okay with it. Where I still feel like Tatum, but it's understandable.
Wait, you don't think Anthony Edwards is going to reach that ceiling?
Do I think he's gonna reach that ceiling? I don't know. It's tough because Tatum actually is there.
Yeah,
He's
bro.
done
and,
it.
and when you're talking about
Edwards
guys,
averaging 25.
when you're talking
and
about
it's
guys that are
savage.
top 10, you have to win, bro. I'm sorry, you cannot be losing the first round,
Except
being
that
a
one guy.
play-in. You have to be able to win.
Anthony Edwards is going to win.
What?
Anthony Edwards is quite literally
Okay,
a winner.
That's
Win what?
fine.
The Timberwolves
Not
just
yet.
made the playoffs last year.
Wait.
Didn't
He's
they
been
choke
holding.
it?
He's been holding the Wolves afloat.
Tatum just went to the
upcoming
finals, bro. I
season.
don't think you want
That's
to go into
why,
that
like, you
conversation.
need-
You know what I'm saying? Like,
If you're a top 10 guy,
Tatum
you
went
get
to
held
three
to that
straight
standard.
Yeah.
ACFs.
Also, year 3 Tatum, year 3 Edwards. Edwards is better. It's no doubt. Defensively and offensively.
situations, listen. I don't have a problem with the Edwards. I think Edwards and Tatum is less of a hot take than what Tatum and Kawhi was at the time.
Correct.
No,
Kawhi-
I mean, stamped. Edwards will be as good or better than Tatum. That's stamped.
I'm with you because
That's stamped. That's
I
stamped.
can't-
You're
I
gonna
can't-
mail it.
That's stamped in the
can't
Joel
get behind
Moran
that.
That's
world.
stamped.
What did he say?
He said it's stamped that Ant's going to be just as good or better than Tatum.
That's stamped.
It's possible. I don't think you
We're talking about, bro.
you could lock that
Tatum
in.
right now is in
hasn't-
his 6th season. We're talking
Tatum-
about Ant-Man 3 years from now, bro. Imagine how good he's gonna be.
Wait, but do you know Tatum hasn't reached his prime yet?
He's
And-
25.
I'll be honest with you. I'm actually genuinely scared of what Tatum's prime is
I
going
know.
to
Tatum
look
hasn't reached his prime, correct? So he's in the middle of it right now.
No.
Like
he's
he's
not
in the middle of
no.
reaching it.
He is
He's still
literally
climbing.
2 to 3 years away from the best version of Tatum. He's a top 10
So
player
where is
now.
he right now? What I'm saying, if you were to describe it in a word,
I don't know. The
like
word
he's
is,
in the middle. Like
He's
okay,
rising. He's rising.
He's before.
Let's say his prime is the 3rd floor. He's on the 2nd floor right now.
Okay, sure.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Edwards is still on that 1st floor.
Okay.
He's not like he's gonna get to the 2nd floor.
But do you not understand Tatum's 2nd floor is a top 7 player in the world?
You do not understand that the 1st floor for Edwards is 25 a game with great defense.
Tatum's average is 30.
It gives you really
Edwards
good
is
defense.
Can I
5
ask you a
points
question?
off from that.
Tatum is
5
also a
points
better.
is pretty huge.
What is Ant-Man right now? A top what player?
He's a top 25 player, stamped.
Oh, I was going to give you a little more.
So
than
we
that.
have Jalen Brown. You have Jalen Brown as a top 20
Ant-Man
player.
is better than Jalen Brown, by the
Okay,
way.
so then all right.
Let's
So,
just make that clear.
is
Right
Ant-Man,
now.
is Ant-Man a
Right now,
top
I
20
think
player?
You should push that.
Yeah, I think he is.
I think there's
yeah,
no problem
I
with
wouldn't be
that.
mad
yeah.
at
wouldn't be mad
I
at
really don't know who
Ant-Man or Zion?
Ant-Man,
I'd rather have Ant-Man.
Anthony Edwards.
I think I feel like you should push that top 20. Push it. But Tatum's 2nd
Pascal
floor is top
Siakam
8.
or Anthony Edwards. I think it's Edwards quite easily.
I would take Ant.
I would go Ant. But I'm just saying, like Tatum's 2nd floor
I
is
like
top 8 in the
Pascal,
world. So his
but I
first
think
floor,
it is
his,
Ant.
his like Tatum's peak is gonna be nuts, bro. Like it's gonna be the
Yes,
same. Like,
Edwards' peak is gonna be nuts
yeah,
too.
I get your glossing, your cheesing about that, but do we not understand what Tatum has done in his career so far is kind of crazy. Like for a young player, like this is no regular peak we're talking about. This is a Jayson Tatum like peak. It's gonna be extremely, extremely high. Like,
Bro, what we've seen from Edwards is not regular either. I hope you know that.
I mean, we
Like,
all right.
bro, I'm not saying Tatum is not amazing. I know Tatum is amazing. But when looking at Anthony Edwards, I retweeted some propaganda, and I'm trying to find the tweet because it was a very great tweet.
What's the tweet? What's the
Players
tweet?
with 4,500 points before turning 22 years old: Edwards, LeBron, Carmelo, Kevin
I
Durant.
don't really care about that.
What do you mean? That's elite company. That's
That
literally
is,
elite
but
company.
A few people could have been in injuries, all that. I don't, and then coming in, I don't really.
Tatum was also
don't-
averaging 23. He had Hayward was there.
I
he
will
was healthy
say
that
that- Some
people's
season.
situation
Kemba
a little
was there.
different,
He
but-
was healthy
That
that
moves me
season.
because back in the day there was a stat that was like quickest to 7,000 points. I think I could be wrong about the
Devin
number.
Booker's on that list.
That's what it was. And that's why I say I'm moved by that because I was moved by Devin Booker being in the company
Yeah, stay
of
consistent.
Kevin Durant and LeBron James. So absolutely, you're mentioned with 3 of the best scorers of our generation. It has to move you.
That's all
There's
right.
no doubt. But
Everybody-
all
Anthony
I'm
Edwards
saying,
is savage.
No,
I just acknowledged Tatum and the success that he's had. Also, he's made it to the NBA Finals. He made it to, 4 ECFs at this point right now?
yeah, there's no doubt. But Tatum right now, we have to understand is Ant-Man is 3 years away from
No
that.
doubt. That's why I'm not mad at him.
How old is
I'm not mad at him.
21 years old.
He is 21.
He's 21, averaging 25 a game, bro.
He's stupid.
With
He's
two
so good.
stocks a game.
He's unbelievable. His defense is crazy. The motor he has is crazy.
Tatum
His
was
athleticism
21 years
is
old,
crazy.
averaging 23,
7 and 3,
2.5 stocks per game.
Yeah, Edwards stats at 21 or better.
With Kemba averaging 20, with
Then he
Jaylen
went to-
averaging
then he
20,
went to
with
the
Hayward
playoffs.
averaging 17.
He went to the playoffs, his third playoffs at 21 and averaged 26 points a game.
Edwards in his first playoffs averaged
Carl
25.
Anthony Towns gonna ruin what
26,
Anthony Edwards
10,
has going on.
Edwards
right
is
now.
going to do what he does. It doesn't matter.
You're sure about that?
I'm sure.
It's not crazy.
Edwards averaged
but
25.
it's
Edwards
not
averaged
stamps.
20,
That's
25 in his first playoff series. Bro.
He had to backpack because Carl Anthony Towns
Yes.
was poopy.
Like, bro, let's just put this in perspective.
Tatum averaged 26 to a run to a ECF.
As a
Scored
rookie,
50
As his
against a
third
team
year.
that
Okay,
only lost
third
3
year.
games.
As a
Is-
rookie,
is
as a
Ant
rookie,
doing that next
as
year?
his rookie, he led him to the ECF.
he averaged 18.
But he led him to the ECF. We know who's the best player.
Okay, we know, but Edwards in his first
Yeah,
playoffs
his first
averaged
round.
25.
In the
It
first round,
lost,
you have
though.
to add contact. First
Did
round,
lose.
yes. What's more
They should have
important? What's
beat
more
Memphis.
impressive?
They should have beat them.
No, hey,
They
no,
should've
no,
beat
that's
them.
fine, but we're not
hey,
gonna do that.
They should have
Riff,
beat
who
Riff.
cares?
Let's level, right? They should have beat them.
But they didn't.
But why? They choked terribly.
Anthony Edwards hit a
They
game
should
winning
have
shot.
won, but they were choke
Did y'all
artists.
forget when Anthony Edwards hit a game winning shot in that series, bro?
Did you forget that they blew double-digit leads in multiple games?
Okay, I understand that, but that's not all. That is
I'm
not all
not
fall on
saying
one
that.
player.
I'm just saying, hey, they had a strong
the whole
chance
team.
to
I mean,
win,
part
and
of the reason
absolutely
they folded was because this newly found top 10 point guard of yours, D'Lo, fucking need to show up,
Listen.
and now he's better
What
than
you're not-
Dejounte all of a
What you're
sudden.
not gonna do is don this top 10 shit on me. We're not gonna do
Nothing
that.
to do with you.
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I can still love D'Lo and not have that bullshit put on me just because Lakers Twitter is horrible.
A super chat just turned into a segment that will be posted on the account. Now.
Good.
No
Good.
doubt. But all I'm saying
Shout out
is
to
that
Tyler.
all I'm saying is that D'Lo, I mean, he shit the bed.